Well, hello and welcome to this Tennis Asia podcast episode, which is I'm going to present instead of Alistair. Alistair usually presents these podcast episodes, but he's busy. But at this time, I'm pleased to be joined again by Leah. You've been so helpful in joining us so many times now. And of course, we've just had, we've seen the end of the women's tournament at the US Open. The men's tournament is about to end. It's not quite done yet. We've still got that final between Sinner and Alcaraz to come. But you join me here today to reflect on Asian success at the US Open this year, which has been a pretty successful tournament and a lot of nice stories for the Asian players at this tournament. So, I think the first player I would like to focus on, I think definitely it was a big story, a big comeback tournament at this level for Naomi Osaka, of course, the Japanese number one. And we talked about her coming into this tournament. Obviously, her success at Montreal, having got to the final, finishing runner-up there in a tight match to Mboko. But yeah, we were sort of wondered whether, she would be able to carry that on into, this US Open because, her form has been, if anything, inconsistent, right, since she came back after, her break, having a child and everything. So, just wanted to get your thoughts, really, Leah, on overall, first of all, what you made of Osaka's run to the semi-finals.
Yeah, definitely. I remember during our US Open preview when we were discussing Asian players, I remember I said I think she's the one who's going to have the most success in this US Open run. So definitely not surprising, but also surprising. Like we know that she has this level in her. Of course, she's had 4 slams already, but there's always a question mark whether or not she can sustain the level that she has shown, and our run to the semis is really amazing, especially since she's had to work hard to get back to this stage of slams since her comeback, right? So this is probably, I think, the first time she went past maybe like fourth round, I think, after she came back. So definitely very successful, and she almost got to the final, right? Like it was a very tight 3-hour battle against Amanda Anisimova. So overall, I think very successful tournament for her, and she seems very positive about her prospects moving forward, at least based on her press conference, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
she seemed to look like, okay, this is a positive step for her.
Yes, that's true. I just wanted to say that you were better in your predictions than me because I predicted that Rybakina to get to the
Right?
final, and maybe wasn't so sure about Naomi's performance. But no, Naomi definitely has shown that. Yeah, this is she has sort of stepped up in level, and that it does look as if she is going to be able to, continue this. What I would say is be, you know, among the elite, right? So she obviously has been an elite player, having, won 4 majors, right? And yeah, it was just a question of and whether she could back it up. And yeah, it felt very different this time in terms of much more positive because obviously after the Montreal final, she was so devastated and actually she's shown that kind of sort of negativity after
Mm,
not just that final loss, but other losses in previous tournaments. But it felt like this time she really enjoyed that run, and despite losing in the semi-final to Anisimova, who of course just lost out to Sabalenka. in the final. But I mean, yeah, just despite that loss, she seemed to be much more philosophical and a bit more, upbeat about, because she said, I think she said, I did my best, so she couldn't really be upset about that. So let's go back and sort of, I mean, obviously, I guess you won. Sorry, you watched some of her wins
Yes.
on her run, right? So if we can go back through, I mean, obviously she came through pretty straightforward in the first two rounds against Minin and Haley Baptiste, and I suppose we kind of maybe expected her to do that. But then obviously the first seed that she faced was Daria Kasatkina,
Right.
and she raced off to a 6-love lead, right? Which at that point I sort of zoned out and switched off my attention because I was like, okay, this is she's keeping her form going here, and I don't have to worry. Of course, it wasn't that straightforward in the end. It was
Yeah.
one of her more complicated matches on the run. What do you remember about that match?
I actually didn't see a lot of it. I think I only saw like the second set. I was
Mm,
probably watching something else while that was going on. But I just remembered she seems to have better rally tolerance now than before
mm,
when she was in her previous matches. Like she would pull the trigger quite quickly or prematurely. And now I think that's been a part of her success now that she's been able to stay in the rallies longer or much more willing to play defensively, I guess, when she needs to. And especially against a player like Kasatkina, who is
mm.
basically a brick wall. That's very important not to make the mistakes that will give the point to Dasha, right? So
Yeah,
yeah, I think that's the improvement that I saw from her in this tournament.
yeah, Daria's a tricky player and one that can frustrate. I think, I think you're totally right about her rally tolerance being improved, and perhaps maybe a few months ago or even a year ago, if she plays a match like that where Kasatkina comes back, she might start to unravel a little bit. But this
Right.
time, she kept strong and finished to take that final set 6-3. And then, of course, she moves on to the fourth round where she had to face Coco Gauff. And of course, this was the one that everyone was looking forward to. And I guess, this was really going to decide, the success of Naomi's tournament in a way, because I feel like she was hoping for a breakthrough to be able to beat a player like that. And yeah, obviously, then, you win that match, then she's into the quarters, which, is a breakthrough for her. Um, did you? I guess you watched that match too, right?
The one against Coco,
Yeah,
yes, I
yeah,
did. But it was very like an hour. I think it was very
yeah.
quick. So honestly, nothing really stands out except that she served very well and she did not allow Coco to get any foothold in the match, which was important because we know that honestly, I don't think there's anyone better at winning ugly than Coco Golf. So you
Mm,
just give her some leeway and she's gonna find her way back into the match, even if she's not playing well. And Naomi really did a good job in making sure that stayed ahead, and that she never. I don't think she even faced like she was not broken. I think right in that match. So not sure if she faced a break point, but I think she wasn't broken in that match. So definitely very solid performance
yeah,
from
she,
her
she
against a player who wasn't necessarily playing their best.
yeah she didn't face a break point.
Oh, okay, great.
And also she won all her breaks, 4 out of 4 on her break points, and pretty straightforward victory for her. And maybe Coco's not really in the headspace coming into this, and obviously trying to make the adjustments on the serve. Maybe not as easy to do that when you have to face someone serving and as well as
Yes.
Naomi. But yeah, obviously great for her to get through that milestone, and it was the first quarterfinal for Naomi
Right.
since winning the Australian Open. So first Slam quarterfinal since winning the Australian Open 2021. So yeah, obviously she'd been out of the game for a while, but it's been a long time coming, and she goes through to play a very tough player in Karolina Mukova. And that was a straight sets victory, but it was not an easy one. That was one I did watch, I think, for the full duration. And yeah, it's difficult one because as well, I think because Mukova was struggling a little bit with her leg, or was it her? Yeah, she was had an injury, some sort of muscle issue, but I mean, she was still playing exceptionally well, and just making some balls that were really impressive, taking getting to the ball so early, and of course Naomi had to. She was facing a lot of pressure,
Mm.
but it felt like whenever she was under pressure, or maybe she got broken, she kind of just responded really well. That's what I noticed in that particular match, and that's what I remember.
Right.
What do you remember from that match?
I actually didn't see that match. I think it
Oh,
was a bad schedule for me. I wanted to catch up on it, but I haven't been able to catch up
right.
on this particular match. But I remember checking the score like upon waking up, and I was very
Yeah.
surprised that it was a straight set match and that
Hmm.
it seemed like a tough match because it was a tie break, right, for the second set. So it could have easily gone to three sets, but he managed to like wrap it up in straight. So definitely great win for her for the quarterfinal.
Yeah. Yeah. My like what I remember from that particular match, yeah, as I said, was Mukova was creating pressure, but Naomi was handling it pretty well in the first set, and she got that break and won 6-4. Second set again, it was actually Mukova broke, and then Naomi immediately responded with her own break. So
Okay.
it was very good in the sense that she, like, as I think that, as I said, in the past, Naomi, maybe she would have broken down a little bit with the relentlessness from Mukova, but she was able to respond by bringing her own level,
Mm,
and that was very impressive for me to see. The sort of mental
right.
toughness to be able to do that. Yeah, she lost serve. And it went to 5-4. Mukova was going to serve for that second set, but then Naomi broke back to love. And then, yeah, I think she was serving as well. And then she got it to 6-5. And then, of course, we got into a tie break, but she faced a couple of break points as well. So, it was tough moments for her. But then, yeah, getting into the tie break, she played the better tie break. And in the end, great victory. I think maybe there's a little bit of physical struggles for Mukova, but I think she still plays so well. It's just
Yeah.
exciting tennis, even. So you can't really uh, pay too much attention to that if you're her opponent. And yeah, so it was in the end great victory. And of course, she moves on to the semi-finals where she faces Amanda Anisimova. And yeah, I did watch this, and it felt like, honestly, I thought it was a great match. One
It
of the
was.
best matches of the tournament. You watched it too, right?
Yes, I did. I watched it almost, maybe I would say 85%. I probably missed the first few games in the first
Mm-hmm.
set. After that, yeah, I finished everything.
Yeah, it was. It was. I mean, I guess I want to hear your thoughts on whether you think this was one maybe Naomi should have won, because it honestly felt like she might wrap it up in straight sets. At one point, I kind of thought she's going to do it now,
Hmm.
but then of course she ends up losing that second set in the
Yeah,
tiebreak. And of course, yeah, it was very. I think it wasn't long into the third set that Amanda went up a break, and it felt like Amanda was extremely strong after that.
yeah.
But yeah, not much that Naomi could have done really in that final set. I think she had a chance to get back to juice, didn't she, towards the end? But
Yes.
yeah, too little, too late, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't like it when people say that the match was in one person's racket. But
Hmm.
I did think watching that match that it really depended on Anisimova's level more than anything. Like if she was finding a way to um, hit inside the lines, she was mostly winning the points and the games. Not to say that Naomi didn't play well. She did play well. It was just that I feel like it was Amanda who was playing better. So, and even
Hmm.
in the first set, even if Naomi won it, it was more of a back and forth between them, and it just so happened that she played the much better tiebreak against Amanda. And in the second set tiebreak, it was Amanda who played an insane tiebreak to get it to the third set. So, I mean, she played really well. She served well when she needed to. I just felt in the third set that she got a bit too on the defense. Like she was not able to get on top of the point. Um,
Right.
like in so therefore she was always on the back foot against Anisimova, and we know that Amanda returns really well. So I think that's the, if anything that she could have done better is maybe played more aggressively, I think, in the third set, like not, and find more of the angles and move Anisimova more, because I don't think she was moving Anisimova that much in the third set, and we know
Hmm.
that men can be the weakness of Amanda. So yeah, I mean, but definitely great. It was a really great match. She did well. It I just felt like if Amanda could get some consistency, it was something that she would win rather than Naomi. That was the feeling that I got when I was watching the match.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult because when Amanda hits form and she's hitting those winners, it's very difficult to. You talk about trying to defend well, but yeah, sometimes it's just you can't because the point's over before it's really started, and then yeah, but I think the reason why I thought maybe Naomi was going to get it wrapped up in two was only because of that previous match against Mukova, because it felt very
Yeah,
similar in the sense that because she also was, I think Amanda got up a break um, before the tie break and was maybe going to serve for the set. And then, yeah, Naomi came back. So,
yeah,
and then like it just felt like similar in that Naomi was managing somehow to dig out those tight moments.
right.
And I thought, so maybe, yeah, she might have been able to get it done. But yeah, you have to say hats off to Amanda because amazing tournament for her. Of course, she just beat Iga in the previous match as well in straight sets, having lost, that tough Wimbledon final with the double bagel. So, yeah, I mean, great tournament for her, and I think Naomi recognized that it was a great level as well from her opponent, and that she couldn't have done too much more really.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, I guess overall a very positive tournament in the end though for Naomi. And I think she moves up in the rankings now, up to number 14 in the
yeah,
world.
yeah. That's really good.
And yeah, I think if at the start of the year, if you said to her, or if you said to, followers of tennis or her fans that she's going to be 14 in the world after US Open, I think people would have been uh, pretty pleased about that. So, yeah, I think it's going to be interesting now. I think to see how she kicks on from here. I think the
Yeah.
next time we'll see her is in Beijing,
Oh,
which
okay.
at the moment that is that's the 1,000 tournament, right?
Yeah.
And we know that she's also down for a Hong Kong tournament. That's the 250 at the end of the season. So yeah, I mean, what do you think now? Do you think she's going to kick on this Asian swing and sort of push towards that top 10 now?
Um, I mean, who knows, right? Like there are a lot of points up for grabs
Mm,
during this Asian swing. I'm sure Iga and Coco would like to get some more points as well. Um, I'm not sure if like being top 10 is her priority. Maybe winning a title is more the
right.
goal rather than getting more points for her. I think she thinks that way.
Mm,
Yeah, but definitely it would be great for her to build something during the Asian swing so that going into Australian Open, she would have a better form and then she'd
yeah.
have like, better seeding and definitely will make her earlier rounds way easier than it has been for most of the year. Like when she wasn't seeded, she was playing like really tough players in the
Yeah.
first and second round, right? So yeah,
Yeah. Being at least, obviously now she's 14, being at least in that top 16 really helps
yeah,
for her chances of yeah, it's and that sets it up really nicely for the Australian Open, which is obviously a tournament she would fancy winning again, and yeah, obviously conditions will suit her greatly. And like, yeah, it's going to be interesting because I think a lot of neutral tennis fans like just recognize that the talent that she has, and how what a ball striker she is, and just she it's exciting when she's playing well, um, to have her at the top of the game, and so yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how she does. Now, of course, there was some other Asian success in this tournament among the women, in particular, a player that we already talked about from your country, Alex Eala. We
mhm,
talked at length actually about her win in that match against Towson. However, as historic and dramatic as that win was, she did get through to the second round and ultimately lose to Buksha.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I mean, I watched that match. It was a tricky one, and I think you actually, in your, we did talk about that briefly. You did sort of, have some doubts about Ayala's, because you thought it was going to be tricky, right? And because she's not
yeah,
going to give her that much pace, and
yes,
definitely Ayala wants she likes to have that pace to work with, and I think Buksha as well. She was very solid in that match. I
yeah.
thought she played a great match. And yeah, what were your thoughts overall in that match?
I think I only saw the first set of that match. I didn't see the second set.
Mm,
Yeah, definitely. It was close, right? Like the first set, it was just one break that she couldn't recover, and the second set, I suppose, was a bit easier for Boksha. But I feel like against someone who plays great defense like Boksha, it will be definitely harder for Alex to win points and stay in the rally longer because her type of tennis I think works best against first strike tennis players. Like she
mm,
can rush them and make them make errors. But if she's facing someone who's very solid in the baseline, who doesn't give up much errors, that's gonna be harder for her because she would need to finish it with a winner all the time. So I think that asks a lot of her, a lot from her physically and also like mentally. So that's
yeah,
why I was worried that if it was Boksha, I did feel like it will be a pretty difficult match for her. And I also noticed that Boksha didn't have that much problem with her serve, returning
yes,
serve, right? Like, but
she
she was,
served well.
yes. I mean, she served well, and she also returned against Alex very well. Because we
Yeah,
see some of the like maybe the big hitters, they have a harder time with the slower serve that Alex gives, but it seemed to not bother Boksha at all. So
yeah,
I think yeah, that was really the the edge that Boksha had against her. I didn't really see the second set, so I'm not sure. I can probably imagine what happened. Like she probably got broken early, and she just couldn't.
Yeah, like I mean, I did see that second set, so I mean, it was difficult. Yeah, I think overall she was serving much better, and we know that Eala doesn't have a consistent serve, but yeah, and I think just overall really solid. But yeah, that was creating the pressure for Eala to actually go for her shots. And normally, she will like to be aggressive, but she wants to have that, yeah, like you say, that pace of ball. That's just the way she plays her game, and yeah, this time she was the pressure to pull the trigger, and yeah, there was a lot of sprayed forehands, sort of
Yeah,
wild forehands into the tram lines and so on. So yeah, it was one of those days. It just felt like it was going to be probably not going to go her way, even though it wasn't a terrible match, but it was just yeah, obviously a little bit of a letdown after having such a dramatic first round win. But we talked about before, like the start of the hardcourt season in North America. We said, oh, it'd be nice for her just to be able to get her that first round
yes,
major win, and she did it. So yeah, that was something checked off, and yeah, I think she's gonna try and build on that. And we should talk about, to her credit, she didn't stop, and she stepped down to the WTA 125 level in Guadalajara, which is a tournament taking place during this second week of the US Open in Mexico. Yeah, she stepped down to that level. And what has she done? She's only gone and won the whole tournament. So that's
yeah,
the best, highest level tournament that she's won, right?
right. Yes, I think the highest she's won before was like an ITF 100, right? So this is like a step above
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah. So great move for her to not stop, and
Yeah.
like especially since she hasn't played a lot during the hardcore summer, she needed to get more matches. I think she was in it to build momentum again, but bonus that she actually won the whole thing. So, I mean, I wish I had seen some of the matches that she played there, but it seemed like she did really well in that tournament.
Yeah. Did you catch anything at all from that? And obviously the time difference is pretty
So,
terrible for us in Asia, but
yes, this was bad. Like all of her matches were, I don't know, 2 a.m. onwards. And then one of them had a rain delay, so it was kind of hard to
and
follow.
it was very much an Alex Eala run because I think in the match against Lipchenko in the second round, I mean, that was a 7-6, 6-7, 6-3 victory. I think she was down a double break in the second set.
Wow.
Or, yeah, so there you go. I mean, that's very, very Eala
Oh,
way to do it.
the
And
scoreline.
yeah, and then also in the obviously the final, she was down 6-1 to a
Yeah.
player that she lost to not that long ago on clay at
Yes.
another like a challenger level tournament, and then yeah, I think she was up I mean, yeah, again, it was horrible time for me. I saw that she was up I think a double break in the second set, like 4-1, but it ended up finishing 7-5, so it was turned into a bit of a battle. But yeah,
Yeah.
she did come back and win that final set 6-3, and yeah, just a great week for her, and yeah, just a nice way to round off that North American hardcourt swing. And I think she'll move on to, well, I think she's going to Sao Paulo next, right?
So yes, she's on the player list for Sao Paulo.
Yeah, so
I think
that's
she's
any
third
sort
seed there.
right. That's the WTA 250 tournament,
Yes.
and yeah, that's obviously going to be interesting because obviously you said she's the third seed there. It's not it's not stacked with quality there. So perhaps a little chance for her to get a good, run and good points on the board there. Well, we'll see though, because she might be a bit tired. It's not always easy to go to a new city and then suddenly start playing as well as you left off. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, if she gets a good draw, perhaps she can get that done. And I think she won't be playing in so unfortunately here,
Yeah.
but she will continue in. I think she's continuing on the WTA 125 tournaments. Is it Jingshan and Zhuzhou in China? That's what I see here. So, I mean, that's kind of. I respect that she's not trying to just go into the big tournaments too quickly, because I think that's what a lot of players, and she might be, tempted to do, given that she's had such big wins against big players, right? But I think it's good that she's sort of staying grounded like that and willing to sort of build up slowly. And I think
Yeah.
that is the right thing to do.
Yes, I agree. I mean, she definitely needs to get more match play, and that's more. I mean, not to say guaranteed, but that's more likely if she plays a 250 or a 125 versus if she plays a 1000, where she can face a top 10 player from the very first round, and then she's traveled all that way to just lose in the first round. That's going to be tough for her. So I think, yes, this is definitely a good strategy for her to build some form again and to get some points so that she has a better ranking coming into the Australian Open, which is a hard court slam, which I mean, I'm sure she might do. She has a chance of doing better because it's just because it's the surface suits her, and
Mm.
she's
And yeah,
probably a lot of support there too because there are a lot of Filipinos in Melbourne. So yeah,
yeah, and of course, yeah, the Asian swing. Yeah, this hard court's going to suit her game, and some of the hard courts are on the quicker side, so that
mm,
definitely helps. And yeah, and also she's down for that WTA 250 in Hong Kong
right.
alongside Naomi Osaka. So potential meeting between those two would be exciting, but that's we'll see if
Fun.
that happens. Yeah, that would be very interesting. And of course, should be a few Filipinos maybe able to make the match in Hong Kong. It's within the region anyway. So yeah, I hope there's a small chance I might actually go to that tournament. We'll see. I'm thinking about it, or I'm see if I can fit it in my schedule. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. Yeah, but thinking as well. Anyway, we need to move on quickly. About another Asian success, I should say, in this tournament was the Indonesian player.
Mm-hmm.
Who was a bit of a surprise for everyone, which is Janice Tjen. Of course,
Right.
she came through. I mean, we did sort of predict, especially you were pretty, hopeful that, or you predicted it would happen that Chen would beat Kudermetova,
Yes.
and she did in 3 sets, 6-4, 4-6, 6-4, and then of course we thought that she might do better against Emma Raducanu.
Yes.
It ended up being a 6-2, 6-1 loss.
Right.
I did watch that match. I honestly thought she did pretty well, but it was Emma played a surprisingly good match there. What did you think?
Yes, I thought that she played well. She definitely didn't play badly for that
Mm,
scoreline. I mean, that scoreline didn't really show doesn't give her justice. I think she didn't play that badly.
mm-hmm.
Um, Emma just played very clinical, very clean. I've never seen her serve that well. I think ever. Like ever. I don't think so. But I did feel like Janice was a bit overwhelmed by playing in a big court,
Right.
and like she did feel like she was a little bit more withdrawn because she's usually expressive, right? Like when she plays.
Mm,
Maybe that was also a factor, but definitely I don't think she has anything to be ashamed of in that match because it was
yeah.
really sometimes you just have to say too good, right? Like the opponent really played insane on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I agree. It was. I don't think I've seen quite a lot of Raducanu's matches. I don't remember her serving or looking that assured on serve. Yeah, just great placement, and then it's not much you could do then, and then it obviously creates a lot of pressure for Janice and her service games, and we know how good Emma is on return. But Yeah, I mean, there were moments though when she was going toe to toe with her in the
Yes.
rallies, and I thought that was pretty impressive. You know, her movement and her forehand are very much standouts in her game, and like, yeah, it was obviously. I think it would be a good learning experience for her.
Mhm.
I think you might be right though as well. Like she, maybe especially in second set, you know, she was maybe struggling a little bit to bring the sort of like the fire that we've seen in
Mm.
our earlier our matches, and you know that sort of, because I kind of felt like, oh, she wouldn't lose that easily, but yeah, it was 6-1. But um yeah, because she talked about before, actually before that match, that she admires Emma, and like I think she
Yes.
actually likes
Yeah.
as a player a lot. So maybe that was something in her mind, like this is suddenly she's, because it's come very quickly for her, the success, right? I mean, she's basically
Basically,
just a
just a
year,
year.
you know, as a pro, and basically that's suddenly just making it to the US Open, coming through qualies. You beat a seed, and then you're on a big court. I think that was an Armstrong, right? And against a player that you admire, probably it's only human to sort of maybe that gets into your head a little bit.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, definitely, probably all of those factors played into that match. But amazing slam for her still. I mean, she qualifies on her first attempt to qualify for a slam, right? So, and
Mm.
she's now, I think, around 130 or something
Yeah.
around here. Yeah. So, only like if she does well during the Asian swing, she might get direct entry to AO if she gets enough points, right? So,
Yeah. Now that you mentioned the Asian swing, is that well, before that, she will be playing in that WTA 250 in Sao Paulo. She is in the main draw, so she will be potentially up against Eala. That would be very exciting. I
cool.
might,
Yeah.
I might have to watch that one. That would be an interesting one, actually. But also, I've just noticed she will play in Incheon in Korea. So I don't know
Oh,
if there's a chance for me to go see that. That's I think that will be, yeah, that's the week after the 500 in Seoul. So that
okay.
is basically I think that's like a ITF 100.
Right.
So I would put her down immediately as one of the favorites to win that tournament if she plays a W100. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
depending on the lineup there, but yeah, I mean, great you know, overall tournament from her, and I expect there's much more to come. Lastly, I guess we can touch on briefly, by the way, on the women's side. Obviously, Rybakina, I predicted she'd make the final. Didn't quite turn out like that. Yeah, she made the fourth round. Actually, I mean, she ended up beating
Yes.
Emma Raducanu, who,
Very routinely.
yeah, and it's what that was not necessarily what I was expecting. Obviously, with Emma having done so well against Janice, but Rebecca Nash was very, very good in that match. But I think maybe, you know, Raducanu was struggling to bring the kind of serving that she had in the previous match, and she probably needed against
Yes.
Rebecca. But I mean, Rebecca didn't really put a foot wrong there. In the fourth round, she lost though to Vondrousova. Did you see that particular match?
Yeah. Yes. I saw the first two sets and then like half of the last set. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw most of it. Yes.
And yeah, a little bit disappointing, of course, because Vondrousova got through and then had to withdraw
I
before her
know.
match against Sabalenka. But as a tournament for Rybakina, did you think that obviously that match? Did you think that? I mean, how did she actually? Did you feel that she played well in that match, or do you think that was?
Um, well, she definitely did not serve as well in
Mm-hmm.
that match, right? Especially in the first set. I think she was like 50% around that first serves in. And we know that Marqueta is a pretty good returner, actually. And her defense is amazing. Like in that match especially, like she was getting to all sorts of balls that maybe would have been a winner against someone else. The balls that Elena was hitting. Yeah, I think it was just Marqueta was serving better than her and was returning better than her. I mean, that's, basic, but I think overall it was still a good tournament for Rybakina. She's never been at to the fourth round of the US Open. I think the US Open is her it was her worst slam. I
Mm,
I, I saw that stat somewhere. So for her to kind of push through that barrier and get to the fourth round in a tight match, sorry, it's pretty good for her. I think that's a good stepping off point, and she has started to play better since, I would say, like around the French Open period, right?
yeah,
So definitely, I think moving forward, it's only gonna be upwards for her, and
yeah,
she's already on track, probably in the race to make the finals. More or less, I mean, she's in the
yeah,
last couple of spots. So I think, yeah, I mean, good tournament for her considering everything,
yeah,
like her record in the U.S. Open, right? So yeah, she
yeah. She'd be
hasn't
hoping to
passed.
probably now just to sort of finish the season strong, and then obviously the big one will come at the start of next year at in Australia, where she will be a contender surely.
Yeah.
So, and then just obviously before we move on, I wanted to mention, of course, Io Ito. She unfortunately failed to make the main draw. She
Mm.
could have gone in as a lucky loser. She just missed out. But she will also be playing qualies in Seoul. So another player. I don't
Oh.
know if I'll be able to see her. I mean, that's quite a big move for her to play the 500 in yeah. But obviously, she qualified for um, some 1,000 events recently and did well there, including wins over Paolini. Let's see how she does in Seoul. Now, moving on, I would like to talk a little bit about the men's draw. I know that's not what we usually do. We usually talk about the WTA, but obviously, one standout player making history was Coleman Wong, another product like Alex Eala from the Rafa Nadal Academy, coming through qualifying, beating Kovacevic in the first round in straight sets, and then Adam Walton, a player, which perhaps maybe fortunate to play in the second round of a slam as Adam Walton. And I mean, those two, they are that's a kind of matchup you would be seeing on the Challenger Tour in Asia, but
Mm.
yeah, obviously comes through that and then gets through to the third round and plays Andrei Rublev, the 15 seed. We all know Andre. We know how devastating his game can be, the power from baseline. But Coleman managed to push him in a pretty exciting match to 5 sets.
Yeah.
And I think, from that performance, he's actually, turned a lot of heads and people, suddenly know who he is. And he's got a pretty exciting game when it all comes together. It's a great run, right?
Yes, for sure. I mean, um, it was great for him already to qualify for his first slam ever, and then to get to the third round and
Mm,
lose out in a very tight five-set match against a top player. That's a really good run for him. He actually could have won that match, if he didn't run out of steam. I think it was just he had played three more matches more than Rublev, right? Because he had to go through qualifying. So maybe
yeah.
if he didn't have to play those three matches and they were equal in terms of like the physical reserves, right? He might have won that match. Who knows, right? But I think Andre gave him a lot of praises in his um, post match presser like how well he served, how well he did in that match. So definitely great run for him,
Mm.
and also like a good advertisement for the Rafa Nadal Academy, I guess, for both Alex and him doing well in the U.S. Open.
Yeah, I mean, just obviously, yeah, we said before, it's he's the first Hong Kong man in the open area to qualify for a major and then win a match, and then obviously he's won two of them, and then to go through to the third round and put in such a good performance like that, it gives hope that maybe this player from Hong Kong can maybe do something beyond just turning up at slams, and maybe he can win bigger matches and maybe make his way up the rankings and be playing on the ATP tour more regularly. I think he's definitely shown he can compete with a top player like that. And I mean, I watched that match, and yeah, probably the best he's ever played. Right? I mean, I think the serve has been a bit of a game changer. He has always, he's fairly tall, so he's served well for a while, but it seems to be becoming much more of a weapon, a devastating shot. And yeah, when that clicks, then the rest of your game can sort of, it frees you up a little bit. And he's definitely got quite an exciting, aggressive game, and he can quite a lot of power when he gets going. So quite a good athlete as well. I was always really impressed actually with how well he was moving and just anticipating. And so yeah, when you all that together, it's very exciting. And yeah, he hasn't. I guess he's still young, but he's kind of just sort of hovered between like 100 and 200 in the world. Clearly, he just excels more on the hard courts. So yeah, I think he's had some good runs at the Masters or good wins on hard courts. So he's got potential there. And yeah, I guess we'll just have to see if he sort of kicks on now. I think he'll probably play some challenges, but also I think looking at the lineup, I'm wondering whether he might actually get a wild card for one of the tournaments, 250s in China, because I know normally they prioritize the mainland China players, but I think there's a chance that he might get one. Just looking at the way he's sort of just because he's signed up for the main list, but not on the qualies. Sometimes that happens when they're expecting a wild card in Chengdu. But yeah, I'm not sure. That's just my speculation. That might be completely wrong, but we'll see if that happens.
I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, it'd be nice. And yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see. Yeah, like basically, he's flying the flag for Hong Kong, and that's not something that's happened for them for a while in tennis anyway. So yeah, great tournament overall for the Asian players. Yeah, just another player I wanted to just mention quickly as well, just to say, because also Shintaro Mochizuki is a young Japanese player. He came through qualifying. He came through in straight sets against Hugo Gaston, lost out to Alex de Minaur in the second round in straight sets, but there's no shame in that really, because de Minaur is such a solid player these days, and he went all the way to the quarterfinals. So yeah, just overall, anyway, reflecting on a great US Open for the Asian men and women. What are you looking forward to most during the Asian swing?
No time zone difference, or at least very minimal time zone difference.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to, because it's been insane trying to catch US Open matches. Just the 12-hour difference it's crazy, I think. So yeah, definitely yes. And also for the Asian fans to have the chance to see players that they follow in person, maybe hopefully in these tournaments, like what you mentioned, Alex playing Hong Kong, Naomi too is playing Hong Kong. I'm not sure about Rybakina's schedule, but I'm sure she's playing Beijing and Wuhan probably, right, since those are 1000 tournaments. So yeah, I that's mostly what I'm excited
Hmm.
about, like see matches where I don't have to stay up that late. But I'm hoping that especially for players like Janice and Alex that they do get to earn
Yeah.
a lot of points during this period so that it kind of sets up their 2026 year, right? So yeah.
Yeah, I think especially for Janice, because I can see the potential she has, and she's still, good performance at US Open, but we haven't seen her in the WTA Tour tournaments yet. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that. I think, and then yeah, it's a bit of a shame that we don't have the main tour tournaments, or well, actually, I don't know if yeah, we don't have main tour tournaments in Indonesia or the Philippines. It would be nice to be able to see that. But yeah, it's good to have players from the region doing well, and yeah, I'm going to see hopefully if some of these players how they do, and then also yeah, of course Naomi as well, but then yeah, like Coleman, but then I think on the men's side as well, got quite a lot of injuries recently for the Chinese players. So Jerry
Mm.
Shang Zhizhen, yeah, Wu Yibing. So yeah, all talented guys, but they've struggled recently, and of course the return of Queen Wen.
Oh, is she returning I thought she might not, but is she returning
I
already?
thought she is down
Okay.
to play the Billie Jean King Cup finals.
Oh, that's next week already.
Yeah, is she? Is she? Yeah, I mean that was the plan. I mean, I haven't heard that there's been any change to that. So yeah, I mean that's obviously in China, and we'll have two other Asian nations, Kazakhstan and Japan, competing there.
Right.
So yeah, it's going to be big thing. That's the same week as Seoul.
Yes.
So yeah, I think that is where she's going to make her comeback. Yeah, she had that surgery, and she's gonna. Yeah, I mean, if she can play that, that's great. Obviously, in front of the home fans, and that it's should have a good atmosphere, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if she gets to play, definitely people will be cheering for her in home country.
Yeah,
I
against.
feel like it's a bit too soon, but I mean, it's her body. I didn't know
Yeah,
actually that she was planning to come back.
yeah. I
That's
think she was sort of skipped the U.S. Open and with one eye on making
okay.
Billie Jean King Cup, but I mean, yeah, I think for her you know the national team events, she obviously won Olympic gold. She'd like
Yeah.
to do something for in Billie Jean King Cup. Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, other players that can also come in and do a good job, like Wang Jinyu and yeah. So there's plenty of other players there, but yeah, also Japan and I think it's China plays Italy. So
Mm,
yeah, so it could be Paolini, right?
yeah.
She could be playing doubles as well, right? And then
Probably
yeah, it's
playing doubles for sure.
yeah. So going to be interesting to see how that pans out. And yeah, it's going to because also this year I think it's the first year that it's going to be all in one event, right? Is it? It's because like basically they have it's like quarterfinals and then through to the final just like in 1 week, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining me, Leah. Look forward to that Asian swing,
Yeah,
and
the lineup in Seoul is so good. I feel so bad. I can't go, but if I want to go so bad. But anyway,
yes, the Asian swing will begin. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get to see some of that. I know, yeah, Radicanu got a wild card. I think Krejcikova's on the
yes,
qualities list, but she should be in the main draw, surely. But yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
like, yeah,
he's playing
just gonna.
doubles too with Sinyakova.
Right,
Um,
yeah, cool.
so yeah, and Iga is also on the list as far as I know.
Yeah,
So
and she should hopefully be playing because she went out a bit early, so yeah, yeah, so probably maybe good for the tournament in Seoul. But like, yeah, I wonder if Amanda is going to play in Isimova. Maybe not.
I mean, she played last year or the last couple of years, right? So not sure. I mean, she
I
does.
just mean because she's been in the final, so she might be
Yeah.
a bit want to take a break. But yeah, anyway, whatever she does, won't blame her. Yeah, thanks so much for joining me, Leah, and hopefully see you again soon.